What's up, y'all? Once again, it's your man, AskChazzEllis. And right now, I'm answering a question that came from another video that I did a long time ago. Actually, it was the first video I did. And I got a lot of questions from it. It was, why do black women screw over nice guys? That was a question that I got from somebody. It was actually like, I think it was from like a Facebook message or something like that. But that was a question I got from somebody. And I answered it on YouTube. And from that, I got a bunch of different questions from people. And a guy named, I think it's a guy, Game Changer 00100. Hopefully I got all the zeros right. If I didn't, my bad. But he asked me about the psychology behind women who screw over nice guys. And I was kind of like, how's that helping a dude to know that? But he was like, it would help him. So I appreciate when people ask me questions, even if I post a video or something like that. That's why I like people to leave comments, because I don't get everything right, and I don't always. I try to explain everything, because like with that particular one, the why do black women screw over nice guys? There's actually 3 videos that go with that. I don't know if you guys knew, but it's on the playlist. You gotta look at all 3 videos, and I guess I'll put this one on that playlist too. But I do like when people ask me questions like that, because and put comments in the comment box, because it lets me know like if something was missing from the video, or you didn't get something from it, or even if you disagreed with something. But if you're gonna put something in the video or put something in the comment box or something like that, ask me a question, or I probably won't respond. If it's one of those things where it's like, this video sucks and I hate it or something, like, probably not gonna say anything back, because I mean, if there's no question for me to answer, it's kind of pointless. So anyway, I decided to go into the psychology behind women who screw over nice guys. That's probably going to be the title of the video. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm not really a planner. Anyway, one of the first reasons that women screw over nice guys, this is the thought process behind women that screw over nice guys. One of the biggest things is women are not programmed to empathize with men. Now, y'all might ask, what does that mean? Think about this. As a man, from day one, you're programmed to understand the needs and the wants of women, and to feel like that's important to you. You're supposed to understand a woman's feelings to some degree. Like, it's natural that you're supposed to do that. You're supposed to understand where they're coming from. That's not how women are programmed. That's not how women are trained. And a lot of nice guys expect women to empathize with them, and it doesn't happen. And the reason why a lot of nice guys expect that is because as a nice person, you sympathize, you empathize with other people. That's just you as a human being. When you're a nice person, you're going to put yourself in someone else's shoes. When you're a nice person, you're going to see where somebody else is coming from. And it's not to say that women are not nice people, because they are, but they're just not taught that in terms of males. And the reason I believe, now, a lot of times it's hard to figure out exactly what's behind something, but one of the biggest reasons for that I believe is because pretty much every person on this planet was raised by a woman. Whether it's their mother or some other person. I'm not saying every single person, but pretty much. So don't hit me with a bunch of comments about, I wasn't raised by a woman or whatever. Well, you're in the minority. Most people were raised by a woman. Even if you were raised by a man also, most people were raised by a woman. Okay? So naturally, you get to see things from your mother's perspective. That's natural. You're automatically going to see that. That's not the case with every person and men. Every person that lives on this planet was not raised by a man. The majority of the people that you deal with nowadays were not necessarily raised by a man. Even if their dad was around, it doesn't necessarily mean that he spent the majority of their time in their life. You see what I'm saying? Like, he could have been there, but he was at work all the time or something like that. That's usually not the case. You don't deal with that with mothers. So for that reason, I think women are just not programmed to empathize with the male situation. I'm gonna give you a for instance that might make sense to you. If your parents were to break up, most of the time you live with your mother. Most situations, that's not always the case. For me, I've actually lived with my mother, my father, and both. So I've actually been in a situation. I've actually had all three situations, but most people don't. So if you live with your mother as a man, if your dad pays more child support, that makes your life better. It may make his life harder, but you don't get to see that because you're just visiting him at most. You know, best case scenario, you're just visiting him. So you live with your mother, so as her situation goes, so goes your situation. So for you to identify with her is a given. You're going to identify with her situation because that's the only one you're really getting to see. But a lot of women, their dad may not be around, or even if he is, it's like a visitation type of thing. They live with their mom. They're identifying with her situation. That's the person that they get their information from about life, about the world. But that's also, as her situation goes, so goes theirs. So you're taking a person like this and expecting them to understand where you're coming from, or to understand how what they're doing is hurting you. You see what I'm saying? I'm going to give you a situation like about women not being able to empathize with men. Okay. A guy is going out with a chick. Or wait, a girl's going out with a dude, right? And she says, the dude cheated on me because he said he wasn't being sexually satisfied, and then he broke up with me. Now, as a man, you're like, damn, what an asshole. I mean, why would you do that? You just gonna, you ain't getting enough sex, so you just gonna break up with the chick? That's fucked up. You know, that's how most guys are gonna see it. Like, across the board, pretty much everybody's gonna be like, that dude is a dog. That's pretty much how most people are gonna see it. He cheated on the girl. He broke up with her because he wasn't getting enough sex. He's an asshole. Now, as fucked up as that may sound to us, I would like for you to go and tell a girl that. Same thing. My girl broke up with me because she wasn't being, I can't even say it without laughing. My girl broke up with me because she wasn't being sexually satisfied, so she cheated on me and broke up with me. That chick's gonna think you're like the lamest dude in the world, and other dudes will clown you. You be like, damn, because no guy would even want to admit that. Why? Because people, even males, are not taught to empathize with other men. You're not taught to look at a man's situation and understand where he's coming from. A woman can have 9 kids by 9 different guys, and you'll still see a man sticking up for her and going, oh, well, you know, why don't these dudes take care of their kids? They're not going, why don't she quit fucking all these dudes? And I understand why a dude wouldn't want to have a baby by her and wouldn't want to be around it. They're not going to look at it that way. They're only going to look at it from the female perspective because that's all they know, even though they are men. So how the hell can you expect a woman to empathize with your situation when a man can't even empathize with a man? Because 9 times out of 10, you've been programmed by women to believe whatever it is they're doing is the right thing, or whatever they're going through is more significant than what a guy is going through. That's where nice guys really run into a problem, because a lot of times a nice guy doesn't understand the concept that you can understand where she's coming from, but she can't understand where you're coming from and won't even try. And then to understand that that doesn't make her a bad person. That's just the way she's programmed. That's rough. That makes it hard for nice guys, because a lot of times what happens is you build a certain resentment because of that. Okay, I've been on that for a while. Another one that a lot of people don't understand is many women take commitment from a man as a sign of weakness. That's real shit. You have to remember, this woman has dealt with other people before you. And the average guy is not trying to commit to a chick. Matter of fact, most women go through several guys before they actually get a guy who is willing to commit to them, to be in a serious committed relationship with them. So in her mind, a lot of times what the woman feels is that for you to want to commit to me means that you have no other options. And if you have no other options, there is absolutely no reason for me to treat you with any respect. So, as a nice guy, of course you're going to want to commit. And most nice guys want to commit to whatever woman they're dealing with. You know what I mean? Because they're nice people. They're good people. They're good-hearted dudes. They want to commit to every woman that they deal with. They don't want to string a woman along because it's to their benefit, even though a woman would do that to them. So, by the fact that they don't want to do that, a lot of women look at that as a sign of weakness. Like, wow, if he had other options, then he would be doing what all the rest of these dudes are doing. Because all of these guys are dogs, so he must be a dog with no home. You see what I'm saying? So, it's not that they think that they're not even grasping the fact that you're a nice guy. They're thinking that you're weak because you're choosing to be in a committed relationship with a chick. They wouldn't feel that way. You understand what I'm saying? Like, they don't get it. That you're doing it because you're a good person. It just doesn't register a lot of times. They look at it like, since no other guy is doing this, and all the guys I've dealt with in the past didn't want to commit, if he's wanting to commit, it's because he has nothing else to do. He has nothing better to do. So they look at it as a sign of weakness sometimes, which causes them to want to screw you over. The third one I have is women are taught to give men permission to have emotions. Now, what does that mean? How does that affect? This is like, if you're looking at the psychology behind a woman's thought process. What makes a woman think the way she thinks? Because in her mind, when she was a small child even, 5, 6, 7 years old, she was taught boys don't cry. You can cry as much as you want to. You can do whatever the hell you want to do. But boys are not allowed to cry. You fall down, man up. She hears men and women telling boys this information. But you got to remember what I told you before. The absence of fathers. This is the absence of males in the life of other males. So, mommy is telling boy to man up. How ridiculous does that sound? But that's what's going on. Mommy is telling boy to man up. Man up, get up, quit crying, little punk. Then you hear women saying that. Calling the little kid a punk and shit. Mommy is telling this boy he's not allowed to have emotions. He's not allowed to cry. He's not allowed to cry about that, this or that or the other. And the reason why people do that is because it's easier to deal with somebody who's disarmed emotionally. Like, men are disarmed emotionally, so we don't have the same weapons to fight back that women do. And your mom probably didn't do that to you on purpose, but it was easier for her to deal with you if you're not allowed to cry. So, as a grown-up, you're not allowed to react emotionally. Like, even men are not even allowed to have anger. Like, women can bust the windows out of a dude's car and make a song about it. But let there be a man make a song, I'll bust the windows out your car. Not only would no one buy it, they wanted to do to go to jail. So, that's something you got to look at. Women give men permission for emotions. Now, look at this. I want you to fast forward to when you get older. When you get older, women, after telling you you're not allowed to cry since you were a child, they then want to give you permission to feel when they feel it's appropriate for you to feel. Here's what I mean. Your child is born. You're supposed to cry. Your child was born. I was taught not to cry. Yeah, but it's okay to cry at that particular time. You're giving me permission to have an emotion. You're telling me when it's okay to cry. Think about that. A woman is given that power in her own mind to tell you when you're allowed to cry. Yeah, I think a man can cry at a wedding. I think it's okay for a man to cry at a wedding. They're actually pondering in their minds when it's okay for you to have a particular emotion. A man can get mad at this. I think a man should react in this particular way. Well, you know, he should act this way, he should act that way. And anytime you have an emotion of any kind, if it's not the one that they feel it should be directly connected to what just happened, then they call it feminine. Basically saying females are allowed to have the widest range of emotions possible. But as a man, you are stuck into this small group of emotions that we give you permission to have. We tell you when you can cry. We tell you when you can laugh. We tell you when you can get angry. We tell you what emotions that you have to completely delete from your personality. We don't want you to cry. Okay, well today we do. We don't want you to ever get angry. You're not allowed to get angry. If you get angry, you're supposed to do this. You're supposed to do that. So women are basically saying, you have emotions when I say you can. And you have to think, how can a person not screw you over when they don't even think, when they don't give you permission to be upset when they do something to you? You don't even have the permission to be upset, so how can they even acknowledge the fact that they are screwing you over? They can't do it. So as a nice guys are going to have more emotions because they're more emotionally connected to what's going on. So therefore, you're going to feel screwed over. Every decision you make is going to have emotion involved in it. And you're not allowed to have emotion. So when you have emotion involved in something, you automatically are going to lose and get screwed over. She's going to screw you over because she doesn't feel that when you start, if say she cheats on you, you start crying. Well, now you're a punk in her mind, making her have the opportunity to screw you over even more because you're a punk. You're not somebody who's been wronged. You're just a punk. It's fucking crazy. But it allows them to have the armor to do whatever the fuck they want to you. And you can't do anything back because now you're acting like a female. It's crazy. Okay? Nice guys accept excuses that lead them down the path of getting screwed over. A person actually, I think it was actually the same guy. I was saying something about not allowing women, or the fact that like nice guys often allow women to get away with not doing certain things. Like for instance, say you want a home cooked meal, and your woman is like, "Yeah, I don't really feel like doing that." As a nice guy, you're going to empathize with her situation, and you're going to emotionally connect with what she's going through. Okay, well she don't feel like cooking. Okay, well she don't really like to give head because it messes with her jaw, blah blah blah. Okay, she doesn't really like to do this, that, or the other. Well, let me give you some information about women. You're a nice guy, so you're looking at the situation and you're saying, this is her. She doesn't feel like doing this, 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 and this. She doesn't want to do this, 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 and this. But what if I told you that it doesn't matter? She may not feel like cooking your ass dinner, but she probably cooks somebody else's dinner every single night. Someone she valued more than you. But as a nice guy, you're looking at it as this is just some internal issue that she's having where she doesn't want to do a certain thing and it has nothing to do with you. But that's not the case. Because that's how you would see it. You would just be tired, and the fact that you were tired and couldn't make her something to eat or whatever would just be because you're tired. It has nothing to do with her. Well, that's not how it works for women. Yeah, they may be tired on Monday and not want to cook you something and didn't want to do it on Tuesday. But I'm saying with women, how they treat one guy and how they treat another guy isn't necessarily based on what they feel is right and wrong in how they treat a guy. It's based on how they feel about the guy. And when you let these things go, for instance, the girl's like, I don't give head because I don't really like to. That means I don't really like to give head maybe, but I did it for some other guy because I valued him at a high level. And I don't really value you in the same way, so I'm not going to do that shit. I'm not going to put that effort forward to do something that I don't really feel like doing anyway. So therefore, you're finding yourself leading yourself down the path of getting screwed over because you're letting her get away with not giving you head, not cooking, not doing this, not doing that. And you're not saying anything about it. You're not saying this disqualifies you from being in a relationship with me because you're trying to see things from her point of view. But you don't know that her point of view is you're not valuable enough for me to inconvenience myself. Yes, I'll hang out with you on a daily basis, but I will not hang out with you if I have some other shit to do. But if you were somebody that I really valued, then I would. So a lot of nice guys accept excuses. Like, I don't really do that. I don't really want to do that. I don't really like that. They accept these excuses, and then sometime later, they realize that the girl wasn't doing some of these things because she did not like them enough or did not care about them enough. Whereas, you know, your good guy or your regular guy or even your asshole, a lot of your jerks, they would know it just like that. They'd be like, this bitch ain't doing what I want her to do. I don't care why. I'm deuces. That's what they think. So therefore, they don't get the opportunity to get screwed over because she never gets to that point. She doesn't do some of the things that he wants her to do, so he's like deuces. And let me tell you something about women. They'll get to the point where they're not cooking, not having sex, not doing a lot of other things you want them to do before they ever get to the point where they're ready to screw you over. So, preemptive strikes. That's what I meant by that. When I said a man, don't, when you allow a woman not to do certain things for you that you want done, you'll get screwed over. That's how it happens. It's a step-by-step process. First of all, they don't do the things that you want them to do. Then they're already in a program where they're like, I'm screwing this dude over anyway because I don't really like him as much as I do other guys or some other dude, and he's letting me get away with it, so it lets him keep going to get further and further into that relationship when they're not committed in the same way you are. So you're gonna get screwed over, and you're gonna catch it, because once they get to the point where they really don't value you anymore, and they're showing you that they don't value you by not doing what they're doing, what you want them to do. But when they get to the point where they have lost all value, then the screwing over comes. Okay, what's the next one? Nice guys do what's best for everyone, even if it's not right. Now, what does that mean? If you're a nice person in general, you take into consideration what the best thing is for everyone around you. That's just what nice people do. They may want something that you want, and they let you have it anyway. That's just something nice people do. Nice people make certain sacrifices, even if it's not necessarily the right thing to do. Here's what I mean by that. Like, we both work somewhere, and I earned a raise. And the boss was like, even though you earned this raise, Jeremiah over here didn't earn a raise. But what I could do is split your raise in half and get so Jeremiah can get one too. Now, he didn't necessarily earn it, but you did. But he needs the money or whatever the fuck the case is. Some other bullshit that, somebody who's going to keep being successful probably wouldn't care about. But you go, well, Jeremiah's a good guy. I'm going to give him half of my raise. Would he do the same for you? No. Because what you're doing is not the right thing to do. It's the nice thing to do, but it's not right because he didn't earn it, so he doesn't deserve it. He shouldn't get it. Nice guys do things that are like a lot, and with women for the most part. What a nice guy will do a lot of times is they'll apologize for things that they didn't do, just to end an argument or just to make peace and make the other person feel better. Never apologize for shit that you didn't do. You didn't do it, don't apologize for it, because it's a sign of weakness, and it tells somebody that they can screw you over. It tells somebody that you're the type of person that will accept being screwed over. Now, women who screw over nice guys take you being a nice person as a sign of weakness for them to screw you over. This is the psychology behind the bullshit that they do. It's not that they're doing it because they're just they're bad people necessarily. It's just that they're doing it because that's the way they see you. When you apologize for something you didn't do, they're like, man, this motherfucker is so weak. Look at him apologizing. What a buster. And you're thinking to yourself, like, I'm apologizing because you felt bad about something that I did. Not necessarily I did anything wrong, but I just thought it was nice to apologize to you because you felt bad. But when you apologize for things and you didn't do anything wrong, what you're doing is you're giving that person equity. Because what they're saying is, okay, you apologize for that, so therefore you were wrong in that situation, and I won that particular argument. So therefore I was right. When they weren't. Like, for instance, you're with a girl, you've been dating for like 6 months. She stays out till 3 o'clock in the morning and doesn't call you or anything. She comes back in and you like, yo, bitch, you been out since 3 o'clock in the morning and you ain't been calling me or nothing like that. That's fucked up, man. You a bitch for that. And then she's like, I can't believe you calling me a bitch. And she starts crying. Once again, she has emotional weapons. You don't. You just got mad. She's saying you don't have the right to even be mad at her staying out till 3 o'clock in the morning. She be calling you every kind of fuck nigga and whatever the hell if you did that shit. But she's telling you, she's creating the emotional guidelines for you. But anyway, you hear her crying about it and everything like that. You don't really feel like you were even wrong for calling her a bitch. You damn sure don't feel like you were wrong for saying something to her about being out till 3 o'clock in the morning and not calling you. But because you feel like you hurt her feelings and you want to be nice, you apologize. She's like, okay, I accept your apology. It was just you hurt me by calling me these names. Oh. So you feel a certain way. You're like, okay. You forget the whole argument that you were having originally, and you ended up apologizing for some shit she did. Because she pointed out one little small thing and made you apologize for her, got you to apologize. So you knew that wasn't the right thing to do, but you did it anyway. Now she has equity. She goes out till 3 o'clock in the morning again. It doesn't call. She's like, what are you tripping off of? This is what I do. You're okay with it. You were cool with it last time. Remember, you went. She'll say this. Remember, you got in my face last time. You had to apologize because that was wrong. No, I was wrong for calling you a bitch. No, you was wrong for coming at me that way. That's what I was talking about. You know, she'll change the argument. So don't apologize for shit if you didn't do anything wrong. If you don't feel what you did was wrong, or if what you did was provoked, in terms of you said something that made, like calling her a bitch may not be right, but she did something for you to call her a bitch. So ain't no reason for you to sit up here and apologize for it. Maybe if she apologized for being out late and tell you what she was doing or whatever, cool. But if not, what are you apologizing for? You apologizing for the emotional response you had to the situation? Why? You're not really sorry for that. You felt like she was being a bitch by what she did, and that's what you said. So my point is, when you look at women, the biggest thing I want you to see is, when you think about why they might do some of the things they do, it's because that's how they see you. That's how they're programmed to see the world. They're programmed not to empathize with you. So never try to get them to empathize with you. Don't try to plead your case and say, see where I'm coming from? You feel my situation? It doesn't work. It's not in here. They're not going to empathize with you. It'll never happen. When you make a commitment to a woman, you have to let her know that you're not making a commitment because you're a nice person or that you don't have shit else to do. You're making a commitment because she's doing things that's earning that commitment from you. You're not making no damn commitment because you don't got shit else to do, or I'm a nice guy, I commit to every bitch. No. You're making a commitment because she's earning that commitment from you through her behavior, through her good deeds. You don't ask for permission for your emotions. If you get mad, be mad. If you feel like you want to cry, I ain't cried since I was probably 10 years old. So the hell what? If you want to cry, you cry. Cry it up. Because that's what you feeling in your heart. Don't worry about what that chick tells you. You have your own emotions. Because now you're not emotionally handicapped. Now you have weaponry, the same weaponry that she does. When you get upset, you get upset. When you feel some kind of way, you feel some kind of way. So now you understand the psychology. You understand that she feels like she has a right to give you permission for her emotions, for your emotions. Don't let her. Say, I'm having my own damn emotions. You did me wrong and I feel bad about it. I'm pissed off. I'm upset. I'm not trying to get you to empathize with me being upset, but I'm pissed off. And I'm going to act pissed off. I'm not going to pretend like I'm not so you feel comfortable. Don't try to get her to empathize, but if you feel emotionally some type of way, then that's cool. Don't accept excuses. I don't like sucking dick. I've done it a few times. I ain't thought it was whack. Don't accept those excuses. You say, well, I respect that, but, you know, I do like getting my dick sucked. So that's what's going to have to be. We have to come to some kind of agreement on this. You have to go ahead and suck some dick anyway. You probably don't like it, but, you know, maybe you'll start liking it. We'll work on some things to get you to like it. Whatever we need to do. But I'm not going to accept that you're not going to do that because you done sucked dick before. And you did it for somebody else. So you have to look, you have to understand, you accept these excuses, you're going to look like a sucker in the long run. You don't want to cook. Why? Do you ever cook? Yeah, I mean, I've cooked, but I don't really like to that much. Well, you can make me something to eat anyway. You know, you need to do that anyway. Because if you really cared about me, this is something you have to know about women. It's not in here, but it's also about the psychology of women. Women will do anything in the world for a man they love. Women are the ultimate in love. They exceed men by leaps and bounds. But women will be with a motherfucker that they don't care about. Most men won't do that. But women will be with a motherfucker they don't care about. If a woman really loves you, you don't even have to guess. You don't even have to think about it. Because she's going out of her way. Out of her way. Leaps and bounds. That's how women love. So you're going to get screwed over when you with a chick who ain't doing that shit. You don't even have to guess. When she ain't going out of her way, women are naturally not selfish. I know people that are like, what? No, we're the most selfish motherfuckers on the planet. No, they're not. Well, in a way, but women want the biggest thing in the world a woman wants is a man to be with her. Now I don't give a fuck what they try to tell you. All the single ladies, I'm happy by myself. Fuck that bullshit. They lying. No. Women want a man to be with them. That's one of, from almost all women across the board. Some full of shit. But they want a man to be with them. That's what all their books are about. That's what everything they do is about. They want a man to be with them. So when they have somebody who's completing them and putting their heart and soul into them, and they love that person, they're going to go leaps and bounds. They're going to go, anything you ask them to do, they're going to do shit that's 10 times better than what you thought of. They're going to take your life as seriously as they take their own. That's how women are. And if they're not doing that, it's not because they're a bad chick. It's because they are not feeling you in that way, and they're going to screw you over because they can't help it. Just letting you know that. And when it comes to doing what's best for everyone, do what you feel is right in your heart. And what's best for the people who give a fuck about you. Do what you feel is right. Don't apologize for shit that you didn't do. Don't let shit go down that you don't feel is right and you just take it. Don't do that. Because don't try to be nice. Do what you think is right. And when you do that, even if it doesn't turn out your way, you don't feel screwed over because you're like, hey, I did that shit because I wanted to. I felt it was okay for me. So that's what I'm letting you know. Now that you kind of understand the psychology behind why these chicks do this stuff, it'll be easier for you to combat it. Because you already know now not to even try to get a chick to empathize with you. You already know that don't seem weak with commitment. Let her know that it's something that she's earning. She's got to feel like she's earning it. Because realistically, she's supposed to be. She's supposed to be earning that. She's supposed to be showing you that she's a good woman. You shouldn't want to commit to no chick just because it's the right thing to do. It should be because she's making your life better. And if she's not, deuces. Alright, I hope I help you guys out. If you do have any questions or comments, let a brother know. Put them in the comment box below. Y'all can also go to my like page on AskChazzEllis on Facebook. Like I said, I hope I answered your questions. You know what I mean? please subscribe to the page also. Peace.